Okay, cool. Yep, great. Hey folks, my name is Karthik Rawat. I'm a Azure developer organizer at Azure Developer Community India, and today we will talk about Microsoft Azure fundamentals. You can see we will go through the cloud computing stuff. And talking about me, I am right now a GitHub campus expert, Azure Dev lead again, and I'm a founder of my own local community, OpenCo. So yeah, let's get started. Maybe my screen is visible to you all. Let me check. Yeah, sure. Thanks, Shavi, for that. Yeah, let's get started. Getting started with cloud computing. Cool. So let's have our introduction. So have you wondered what is cloud computing? And yeah, so basically when we say cloud computing is a simple way when we go to the meaning of the cloud computing, cloud and computing. Again, we have a basic thing about computing to basically compute something. But for the cloud, it's just like to give a virtual space to access any resources if you want to accessing, like basically in terms of we go in the definition, it's the delivery of computing services over the internet, which is otherwise known as cloud. So basically sometimes when there is no cloud computing, we render the things, like render things maybe in a one data center of maybe Google, Amazon, or Microsoft, and we have to access it using again those hardware stuff. So we have to go to their data centers and use it. But now the cloud computing has so much viable because we didn't have to go, if it's like you have to run some data, or maybe you have to do some data engineering around the maybe the data that is computed by that. So for that same, what we can easily do, we can go to the, we just directly access through maybe the portal of that particular cloud computing, and we can start with the same thing, like great. So talking more about it. Yep. These services include servers, storages, databases, networking, software, analytics, and intelligence. Now the basic thing that I've included, the services, all are thing in general when we generalize it in a form of physical storage, or you can say physical aspects of that particular thing. But as cloud computing is accessing to the virtual, and you can directly access through the, again through the portal of that particular cloud. Maybe it can AWS, it can be Azure. So we right now we're talking about more on Azure, how you can use it. So I will give a demo of it. Cloud computing offers the uses of computing resources as a service. So again, if you know, we will keep deep into dive into how we can use infrastructure as a resource or like as a service, and all the services that is included in a cloud computing infrastructure. Cool. A cloud network is simply a distributed computing, you can say a distributed system. Those who know, I'm just giving a small definition about distributed system. It's more like all the hosts that is created on the space, how all things are interconnected to each other. That's the main focus behind it. And like some other domain like cloud computing came through the maturity of enabling technology by attempting to satisfying, you can say, economic needs. Because right now, it's not like that. Suppose if you're creating any application, it is very easy to basically deploy anything, because when there is no cloud computing, what we have to do as a deployment, we have to go to the data centers, or there's a one station for the whole country, and there we have to deploy it. But due to the access of internet and cloud computing, we can easily do that. So let's deep dive into it about the, so let's go to the evolution of cloud computing. I'm just giving you the basic thing, what like how the, you can say the, how the actually the cloud computing started, right? So when we go to the age of, you can say, 1950 to 66, this is the basis focus on the ideas. The ideas is came when Herb Crochet, which is suggesting the idea to have basically created a 15 large data centers should suffice the basically computing the needs of the world. Why it is came? Because as we know, we have a 7 continents, and we have different population wise. Because as you know, when we say in the population wise, India, China, or you can say specifically continent Asia is the one of the biggest in when we say the population game. So there they have to you can say number of data centers in a wider way. So that's the basically concept behind it, connecting all the data centers in a one point. That's the basically concept that bring out by Herb. Now, the 1960, John McCarthy proposed the idea of basically let's make it in a more a computing and you can say public utility. Because in general, when we say we go to the different type of clouds, but in general way, there is no such public cloud, or you can say public access tool where anyone can access the services that is created by maybe the dev tool, you can developer tools, you can say. Now next age is more on focus on a technological side, or maybe you can say the networking side. If anyone who in the college or those who done the networking stuff, how the whole infrastructure is created during that. So in 1959, you can say, or no, sorry, not 1959, 1969. APRANET, that is Advanced Research Development Projects and Agency Network. Those who in CS background or IT background, they are pretty much know about this name, has taken its step into development. During the same year, Unix was developed. Unix, basically, you can see the Linux kernels, basically Linux operating system has created on that time during the open source stuff. It's built out of there, right? So more or less 1990, the main internet age has started, we can say, because when we say in terms of India, it's hit at around 2000s, you can say, because when it is infrastructure of the internet is created during that time only. But while implementing the architecture, because in 1990 when it's created, it's only specific to the America, North America specifically, when it's the infrastructure is created. So next we are not going into more on depth, but like on devising thing, right now AWS, you can say, or you can say Microsoft Azure or Google Cloud, basically GCP, has came into play, and which is work on different kind of, you can say, products or services, right? Now, enabling technologies. So as I already stated earlier, for the technological perspective, we can say that, because in initial year when there is no cloud, because I'm just comparing why if there is no cloud computing and now it's a cloud computing, I'm just giving you a difference over that thing. So when there is no cloud computing, again, what I say, in the previous time we render the data, rendering, basically uploading the data and basically analyzing that stuff and do like on the same system, right? Now it's sometimes people, when we focuses on the, you can say, economic side, like suppose many people can buy a laptop, right? Or maybe you can say a hard disk of, maybe you can say, example, 1 TB, right? Okay, RAM maybe 8 GB RAM, but sometimes you didn't need that resources for a longer time. Suppose I need laptop just for a one month and it's over. So I investing the capital and for basically use that resource, but again after 1 month there is no use of that laptop. So that's a trick that is behind, created by the virtualization and networking thing. So all things are in the virtual, and you didn't have to buy any hardware. It's just like they're created on their cloud, and you directly use that resource in, just you can see, in a credit form. You can say basically you're just renting out those resources just for a maybe for a month, for a week. That it totally depends on you, and it has a nominal charge behind it. So that's the basically power of cloud computing. It is more efficient as we compare to the previously the rendering thing, because we have to buy many things. It can be hardware, it can also software, and how to integrate that stuff. Cool. Now let's go to the next one. Cloud computing advantages. So again, high availability, scalability, vertical horizontal, elasticity, agility, geo distribution, and disaster recovery. So let me explain it further. So high availability, as I already stated, we are there's the concept behind created is like 15 data centers right now, like in around the world, or you can say continents, you can say. Due to this, all data centers are connected to each other. In case if any one data center become down, so another data center is here to support that thing in case there's a maybe a drop of that particular data center, right? Second one is scalability. Horizontally vertical means, in terms of scalability also, suppose I created one app in India, and maybe my you can say the market behind the whole product is in maybe Japan, right? Japan. So again, when we say scalability, it's not just only we are just scalable in India or maybe in some region of India. We also scalable in a very proficient manner in different regions of the world. Vertical and horizontal means you have a different scalability. It depends on the product, quality and quantity. Vertical means in terms of how the quality, if you want to large number of audience, that is more on a vertical side, and if you want to just focus on the quality and the production side, that is called horizontally, basically. Elasticity. So elasticity is a term basically used in the software engineering, you can say product life cycle. You can say how is your product is elastic in manner. In terms of, I just explained it, that like suppose any website that you deploy on the maybe any domain or any server, you can say. So how is elastic in nature it is. So my term is here like that. Like suppose you deploy a website, and suppose for per second there is around 1,000 number of users can come, but on that moment maybe you can say 1 lakh people came on the per second, you can say traffic, basically I'm just asking. So it will crash again, because it has a no capacity to basically to maintain that number of people on same time, right? So how your product or project is elastic in nature, that's also help, that's cloud computing also helping in terms of make it elastic. And when we, fourth point is agility. Those who in software engineering, they pretty much know about the, there's a product management principle called agility, or you can say agile framework. Basically it's just like the looping kind of thing. You can say first of all you have to go to the principal thing, what the product needs, let's do some maybe development side, then testing, then again it's a, like a kind of cycle of things. So it's basically agile in nature. So cloud computing is really efficient with the agility part. Geo distribution, disaster recovery, just like again we have a data centers point, so we have a different geo location on that. They have a geo distributions and data. Even one have a, like suppose one data center in maybe in an island, suppose I'm taking an example, and maybe it is some earthquake happened over there, and maybe it data center destroyed. So data is not only prominent to one data center, it's like prominent to one place to another place. So again there's a no loss of data also. So that's the power of cloud computing, right? Now, building blocks of cloud, again, we have a basic thing: infrastructure, resource sharing, development platform, and application software. That's the whole basically bundles of, you can say, the blocks that is whole cloud is built of. Cool. The resource sharing layering typically entails the software and hardware techniques that allows the sharing of the physical resources while offering a certain level of isolation. Why I'm saying isolation? Because every layer have a same kind, have a some kind of resource that is basically using. So giving them an isolation is really important. If there is no isolation, then there's a problem with the security part of the whole infrastructure. Maybe if I'm taking example, infrastructure and resource sharing, they both are connected. If any data that is there is unnecessary required in resource sharing, it is access to the infrastructure, that can be a breach of data. So that's why even though people are saying like cloud is not as secure as like they have, but right now the updates that is coming by the Azure, specifically in the security side, is pretty much awesome. Like in terms of security layer, if you go to the if you go to the, you can say, the network layers of the network, basically the networking layer, the seven layers of the network, there is a, for each layer they created a security patch in order to not access any both layer in a single time. So that's basically the power of, you can say, the cloud computing. Again, as I say, in a broader way, services like SaaS, that is mean software as a service, PaaS matlab, product as a service, and IaaS matlab infrastructure as a service. So again, the initial part, that the application software is in software as a service. If you're creating a platform for that, like for specifically for development, that is product as a service, because you're creating a product. And if you go to the resource sharing plus infrastructure part, if you're giving that thing, that is infrastructure as a service, you're creating a total infrastructure for both application software and development platform also in a same. Like if you taken this, if you see this one, you can get on like about the whole aspect behind it. What I'm basically, you can say SaaS is a superset, PaaS is a subset of SaaS, and IaaS is a, like again subset of PaaS. It's just like that. So if you go to the application point of view, got thing like what I'm trying to tell you here, right? Now, SaaS. So software as a service, again, it's basically focused on the software delivery model, that the basically the software basically you're building out there. It's totally focused on that is a SaaS product. If you say like if you maybe heard while you're applying to any startup, maybe it's a SaaS based product. So basically, it's totally on the cloud. Totally basically the deployment stuff is on the cloud, or you can say the working of the cloud. But it totally for it the project or product is totally focused on the software side, right? That's a basic, you can say, thing behind it. Cool. It's basically provides a, basically cloud provider delivers the software as an internet service, you can say, and it simply basically uses their browser to access their the software. That's a basic thing, you can say, right? So basic characteristic, you can say, access to the software service is a web based, again, as I already tell you. Software is managed from certain location by cloud provider. Software delivered in many to one model, and like it's vary from one to many, many to one kind of thing. And cloud provider handle the software upgrades and patches. Cool. I'm not going to the use cases, you can go through it. I will give you the whole access to this one. So platform as a service, again, platform as a concept behind this came into concept of the product side. Like it's a computing platform, basically it's a computing platform that basically allows maybe the web application in a simplified. If there is, suppose, as I already tell you, if there is 1,000 people land on that website and there is no capacity to maintain that website, that's why the PaaS came. How the whole infrastructure that you are building up through the website is handling. allow user to develop, deploy, and scale the application. That's a that's the concept behind PaaS. In the previous one, that the SaaS one, we are just more focused on the software, how you're building the software. Here, how you're maintaining the software. That's the main focus behind it. So PaaS is analogous to as I already tell you, kind of a superset and subset kind of thing. Cool. Okay, so let's jump to the next one. So I'm not going again, like for just I'm giving an example for an ID. If you go to the ID, maybe like VS Code, Atom, it's kind of an ID. So you can say it's kind of that only the providing in a cloud form. You can say in the virtual form. You can say if you go to the code spaces of GitHub, that's also kind of a PaaS, right? If you use it in some day, so yeah, you can. Cool. So just for example, like Azure Functions, Force.com, Google App Engine. So Google App Engine is basically in GCP. If you want to search it, if you want to use it, you can. Azure Functions is one of the best prominent, prominent feature. You can say platform where maximum people use it in just to deploy, manage the whole deployment stuff, basically, right? Yeah. Now, IaaS, that is infrastructure as a service, that is really important. So it's a cloud computing model in which cloud provider make computing resources available to the client. So okay, I just stated there is some in the previous one, that is in the past one, we have some basically to deployment stuff. This the whole service. It can include Kubernetes services, you can say containerization services, it can include maybe firebase kind of stuff and all the stuff. So basically cloud provider rent out compute resource in form of instances of virtual machines. Again, you didn't have to buy the hardware thing. Like you can say what we did. If you want to set up what to set up a computer in our house, what we did, we bring a CPU, monitor, mouse, keyboard. That's the basic stuff, right? And operating system kind of thing. So again, all things are, you are investing in a form of hardware kind of thing. But here what you can do, you can directly create an instance of virtual machine, and you can directly use in a form of a virtual form, basically creating the virtual instance for you. After using it, you can delete it, and like it's cost very less as compared to that. That's the basic you can say logic behind it. Cool. So again, it's a like kind of a computing resource are provided to IaaS service as a like user as a service, and it basically focuses on different resources offering at different costs and follow unity pricing model. So again, it's very efficient for those who are basically building out businesses and or those who are working at the startups. They can like maximum startup, if you say they are using cloud due to this thing only, because they have a less number of, they have to invest in the maybe the main hardware stuff. So yeah. So yeah, like examples, one is like Azure VMs, AWS, Azure Web Service. If you go through Google Computing Engine, again is one of the example. VMware, if you install maybe if you're using maybe Windows and if you want to install Linux or you can Ubuntu, you pretty much use VMware. It's kind of that. It's a kind of example of that only if you use it. Yep. So, what is serverless computing? So, I'm just giving you a kind of thing. So, in understanding the definition of serverless computing is like that. It's that server are still running the code, but serverless names comes from the fact that the task associated with the infrastructure, provisioning, and management are invisible to the developer, right? So you don't know, or like any developer those who are deploying anything maybe on the cloud or the in the computing side, they don't know how the whole infrastructure provisioning and management is happening. So it is invisible to the developer, right? So this approach enables the developer to increase their focus on the business logic, deliver more value to the core of the business rather than basically handling the whole management stuff, how it's totally managing. So that's a serverless computing helps the team increase their productivity and bring the product to the market faster. It allow organization to better optimize the resources and stay focused on the innovation that the basic if you are building out as a startup, right? Cool. Now, type of clouds. There's only three type of cloud, like public cloud, which is accessible to all. Private cloud, which is only like specific to the, you can say, to the organization. That's the private cloud. And hybrid cloud is just like a mixture of public and private in terms of like you need some data to be private, or you can sub services to private to that thing. So again, that's the basically concept of hybrid cloud. Yeah, it's a mixture of public and private. So if you go to the this thing, how it's the whole service is maintaining, you can go to the how the basically costing and the administration stuff, how the whole management stuff is going on. So that's the basic thing you can say. Cool. Okay. Now, public cloud, again, it's an access to the internet, and it's a basic thing that you can see this the public cloud, the internet that is access to it. intranet, and this thing is basically, you can say, kind of, which is intranet, basically it's a private network, so you can say kind of, you can say private cloud. So with that, again, just have access to the intranet, that's basically the private cloud. And if it's a hybrid, some part are connected to intranet, and some part is connected to the you can say public access internet, you can say, basically. Yep. Cool. Now, the major cloud provider is like, again, Microsoft Azure, which basically, if you go to the compute thing, VM and machine code on the Windows or any flavor of Linux that you want to do virtually, again, virtually on the portal itself. Okay. Now, storage. Azure offers several storage resources. It can be Azure Blob Storage, Table, File Storage, Cosmo DB. Like Cosmo DB is very famous, so maybe you know that. You can also use it. I will like give you some showcase of that thing also. Networking, Azure Virtual Networks, Azure Express Route, and Traffic Manager. Virtual Network is very pretty much famous. You can also see that. Uh, in the past one, like as I already stated, Azure Function, Azure Kubernetes Services, Azure Machine Learning thing. These are the past product, basically that is more focused on the service behind it. And second one is OpenStack. So I'm not going because it's not famous right now, but I'm just giving you a stick because it's one of the time. It's one of the most cloud provider. It's also right now, but it's not much popular right now. Yep. So cloud use cases. First, web, and you basically you can create web and mobile application, SaaS based, basically PaaS based, IaaS based. Second one is big data analytics. Third one is on-demand high performance computing, HPC. Those who work on the research side of the HPC, they pretty much know how the whole high performance computing is doing in the research side. You can say if you're working on the data, basic data engineering team, you pretty much know how the whole high performance computing is working over there. Okay. Cool. So let's go to the next one. You can say online storage and archival, as I already stated in my previous slide, how you can basically use the storage manner in a virtual form in a very prominent manner. Cool. Web-based object storage, backup and recovery, media streaming and content distribution in form of personal data, personal storage, basically. And again, rapid application development and testing. So that's really interesting, because those who are in the software engineering, they pretty much know, when we talk about software engineering cycle or product cycle, basically, they pretty much know rapid application development is one of the, you can say, one of the methodology while you are creating any project or product, you can say. So you, and basically it's work on the both side, you can say. SDET role basically is for that, basically. On the side, on a country side, is doing testing also, and deployment and development also is happening on the simultaneously side. Cool. So summary, so basically the cloud computing is a delivery of the computing as a service over network. Again, I'm not going in the history part. So the enabled technologies of the cloud computing includes networks, virtualization, or you can see the how management of the resources that is present over there, utility computing, programming models, parallel distribution, you can say parallel distributed computing, storage technologies. Cool. Cloud computing consists of though. So again, as I'm not going in a deeper dive, but again, application software development platform, resource sharing, infrastructure, that is totally based on the how the whole SaaS, S and PaaS is totally focused on that. So I'm not going over there. Cool. Most popular, you can say web and mobile application, big data analytics, on-demand high performance computing, that is HPC, online storage and archival, and rapid application development and testing, that is RAD. Cool. So let's go to the main thing, that is, you can say that you are here like Azure, introduction to the Azure fundamentals, you can say. Cool. Yeah. So Azure is a cloud computing, as I already stated, it's a cloud computing platform with an ever expanding set of services that you help you to build solution to meet your business goal again. So Azure provides a wealth of cloud-based services. Okay, so like remote storage, database hosting, centralized account management, and AI and IoT. So in the some of the session, I also talk about the how you can basically access the IoT services. That is really awesome. I will give you a demonstration, not a demonstration, but I will give you the account kind of a breakthrough on that thing. Be ready for the future. So actually what the Azure offers, so it's more focused on how you can use, as a startup, you can use your services, you can build your own terms, operate hybrid seamlessly, and trust your cloud. So maximum people say like there's some privacy or you can security issues happening in cloud computing right now, but right now in a more terms of when we say trustiness, Azure is one of the best out there. Yeah. So how the Azure works, right? Let's deep dive into it. So there's one of the concept behind it, like creating a backend hypervisor. So basically, hypervisor is just like a kind of a, you can say, a CPU only in form virtual way, and which is connecting, basically connecting your virtual hardware stuffs on portal, basically, right? Like creating virtual VMs if you're creating VMs, and maybe if you're using operating system, it can be Windows, or you can say Linux, and Linux have different versions you can access, right? Now, how Azure works, let's do it. So I will go through each and every one. So there's Azure portal, okay. Have a kind of orchestration. So orchestration, basically, with the name, when we say orchestrator, so when we say orchestra, you go to the orchestra, and if you see the orchestra thing, there is one guy, or who's basically there to just kind of just who controlling all the instruments, or those who are handling the instrument, right? That is we call orchestrator. So orchestration, basically, or orchestra, basically means handling all the resources that is present over there. Maybe that's on the portal, you can say. That's a concept. That's a the you can inspiration of orchestration language taken from that only, musical orchestration, basically. That is a one guy who came with a stick, who is waving the stick, and basically he's handling the whole instrument kind of thing. So same happening with here. Orchestrator is here, who basically handling the whole resources out there, so you can access easily, basically, in terms of management stuff, right? So what can I do with Azure? So we have like Azure have 100, more than 100 services like VMs. I will go with that. But most important is like intelligent bots, or creating, you can say, communicative bots and a mixed reality stuff. And if you are into AR, VR kind of stuff, you can do that too. You can use virtual machine to run your application. You can also use AI and machine learning service. And in fact, a good way to start in moving your existing application to virtual machine that run in Azure. That is also easy, because all the things are stored in a one place, and you can access anywhere down the earth. Yeah. So yeah. So what is Azure portal? Cool. So let me go to the screen share thing. So just give me a moment. Cool. Let me stop sharing and share this thing again. I guess window. I guess it is better to share window. That's cool. So if you go there, and if you let me see, it's visible to all of you or not. Just give me a moment. Yeah, cool. Great. So if you go there, yep. So let's deep down with some of the, you can say, that what we discover on the services kind of stuff. Cool. So let's go to, yep, go to the just all resources here. Cool. Cool. Let's yep, let's create one resources here, just to basically, my net is pretty much slow, I guess. Cool. So yeah, let me, cool, let me compute, go to the compute thing. Or like for you all, maybe it's better to go with the web one. Yep. Maybe let's static web app. Cool. So yeah, cool. So I have access to, let's create, so let me create a resource group for here. Like suppose maybe SDEF. Let me, yeah, cool. Let me create a group. Cool. Let me name of it like SDEF India, you can say. Cool. Right now I'm just using for the free, for the like general purpose. Cool. Let me sign it. Cool. Let me access. Cool. Let me set up this thing. Hmm. Cool. Let me. Cool. Let me check. Cool. So, yep, let me go to the organization. Yep, this one. Let it be loading thing. Cool. So, let me go to the, I guess, the, like I created this thing while you can say, while my MLSA one. So, yep, cool. So, um, go to the custom one. Maybe that will be better. Um, Let me go to the source one. Cool. Um, Next one, let's see. Cool. Uh, okay, it's loading. Okay, till then it's loading. Let we go to the next one, I guess. Yep. Cool. So, yep. Again, there is a you can say Azure Marketplace. Basically, Marketplace basically thing where you can basically access to the Microsoft partners, independent software vendors, and startups. If they deployed their maybe, or you can say they are selling their projects or product over there, and basically you can use it in form of that. Customer can find, try, and purchase and provisional application and services from the hundreds of leading service provider over there. All solution services are certified to run on Azure. Again, the main focus behind it, you can use that projects, or you can say use those resource services on the Azure by itself, like kind of a, you can say plugin kind of thing. The catalog provides many industrial categories such as you can say open source containers. If you go to this link, let me go to this link. Cool. Okay, then let me create this thing and let me go here. Cool. So this is the basically Azure Marketplace. You can see. So there's a another like different type of featured apps. Basically, you can use it, and all you can go through this link if you want. So yeah, this is the basic thing, and you can basically feature the consulting service if you want. It's like all things are in the one place, and basically you can use that thing. So yep. So our deployment is ready. Cool. Go to the resources thing. Let me go to here. Cool. Let me check. Let us check. Like so it is available from my end, but so for that purpose thing, so I have to access the basically the main GitHub action kind of thing. So I'm not putting out it here, but again, the all the configuration thing you are putting out there, you can easily run from here also, right? So Now, next thing, I will go to the more services also. Cool. So, tools of Azure services like compute, networking, storage, mobile, database, web, IoT, big data, AI, and DevOps. DevOps basically DevOps tooling, you can say. Cool. So, how you can get started? Again, if you have a Microsoft or GitHub account, that's fine. You can connect with the GitHub, and if you want to go get $100 credit easily, so what you can do, you just go to the student developer pack, like basically apply for student developer pack if you're a student, and you can get easily the, you can see the $100 credit from that. Cool. So basic thing, Azure account, you need a one subscription, and during that, in that subscription, you can create some resource groups, and on that resource group, basically you can create, or you can use to some services that you're creating of, right? So right now, maybe let's go to the main thing. Let me explore you the main stuff, you can say. Cool. So let me go to the dashboard. Cool. So as you're seeing, this is my dashboard, and only one thing is alive. If you like, if you like, that is running. Basically, you can say, like, cool. So again, the whole things behind it that I'm saying, like if I go to the, like, just go to the all services, you can say all services section. Cool. So if you want like basic thing, that what I'm saying, the resource group thing, how many resources are created? Like for this one, I created a previous and a alter RG kind of thing. Cool. In order to use that thing. So again, what are under these resources? What are the activities going? If you go to the this one, activity logs. So how many, like if for right now, for this moment, I created nothing. But if you want, what you can do, again, go to the create one, right? So again, it is creating just for the resource thing, right? If you want, like, not going for the another one. So let me go to the all resources tab. Cool. Now suppose if you want to go for the web thing, like if you want to create an app service one, suppose I'm just going there. Cool. Create an app service. Suppose I'm taking an app service. Cool. Any name you can let me, first of all, just give, suppose this one thing only. Web name, maybe demo, you can say for now. Demo as dev. Cool. Right. Um, Suppose this one only. Cool. Static, whatever you can say. Cool. Again, basically the whole things, the, or you can say all things are going around that. So like, if I'm going demo again, you can create, but I'm not creating, I'm just putting this in one resources only. Cool. Organization, me only. Okay, let it be loading. Cool. I'm going to the same again. Cool. Branch again, main. Okay, let me go to the maybe react one, this one, and source, review and create. Cool. Cool. It's now it is in the build position. The deployment started, as you were seeing here. Cool. Cool. So it is in the process, but again, like if you want to check it out, like again, you can totally download the whole thing, but again, if you want, you can directly use it also. Just for example, if you want to just see the whole development, you can say go to the resources section also, like this one, right? And if you want to basically check the, you can say, I'm not going to the YML file, but in case if you want to check the whole thing, you can directly, again, it's totally accessible to the, you can say, the main thing, right? You want to just push from your VS code, or like those are the editor that you're using to it, right? And yeah, this is my time, I guess. Yeah, sure. So hope so you got something from this one. This is my end of this my presentation. You can say, cool. If you want to connect me, my whole all handles are in one name only. Carry cool dude. You can see me. And till then, so let me stop sharing. Cool. Hope so you got something new. And let me check if there is a cool, cool. Let me see. Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Hello. Hello. Hi. Thank you very much, Kartike. I think it was a fabulous session. I think lots of folks join us, and they're saying hi to you as well. Okay. Okay. So
Cool.
I think lots of your fans join. Lots of the people from community joins, and Azure developer Chandigarh, Chhattisgarh joins. Atulya is there. Sonal
Okay.
is there. Hi Sonal. Hi Atulya.
Hi,
Okay.
Tulya. Hi, Sonal. Yeah.
Thank you for the lovely session, Karthik. It was great to hear from you after so long. Okay, and I want the slides if you can share. These are the
Sure.
really amazing.
Sure.
Okay,
I share this with you. Yeah, in the private chat,
okay.
I guess.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having us, and thank you for listening us. Thank you.